Right, hello. So, yeah, it looks like we're probably going to get a second lockdown, I reckon, pretty soon, seeing as they've done all these measures in the UK, and then they're like, if people don't follow them, it will need to get stricter. And all the scientists, it needs to be stricter. So, there's that. So this is my mum's mask. I won't wear it because she bought one recently on my advice. Because basically I said to her, unless you buy a mask now, you're going to have difficulty getting them for a good price. So she got one of these stealth P3 masks. Now, there's something quite funny of the packaging on this, which I reckon they might get in a bit of trouble for with the woke crowd. What's wrong with this picture? Something wrong with this picture. What is it? Yep, Jesus has got him. I think it's meant to be a man with coal dust on his face. But yeah, you think in the current woke culture, you can't have coal dust on your face because that's racist. But yeah, that just made me laugh because I thought, how long do people start whinging about stuff like that? I'm not going to put this mask on because it's my mum's, but I thought I'd show it you because they are actually all right. So that's what this one looks like. So this one basically has a regular fabric top strap, and then the rear strap on this is like two kind of just big hooks. So the idea is you put them behind your head and you do the hook up, which isn't too difficult, but I'm struggling with it. There we go. And then you'd obviously put the mask on as usual. But obviously, like I said, I won't put this on because it's my mum's mask. In terms of filters, it's a similar thing to the GVS Ellipse, where you turn the bit like that, and then you've got your like filter pads that just sit in the I poke them out easily enough. Yeah, there we go. There's a very similar filter thing to the GVS Ellipse look, where kind of got these little filters that sit in holes on the mask. Actually, I think that should be this way round, shouldn't it? Or am I being dumb? Because that slots better into the thing. Oh, that's strange. Let's just try it that way around. Nah, definitely doesn't go that way because you can probably see it's a bit bulging there now. So let's put that back in the other way around. Yeah, that's good tactical, but I reckon they're going to start going up again in price crazily pretty soon, you know, just due to all the people that are going to start panic buying them once they realise that, you know, what's going to go on. Let's see if I can actually figure out how this properly goes back into its original slot. It's the only thing I'd say seems bad with this mask is it seems like the filters don't easily go back into the bit they're meant to. Let's just try that, see if that works. Is that going to turn? Well, in terms of modding the outlet valve so you don't breathe out of it, so it's safer for other people, all you need to do is either just tape the outlet valve shut or just put a bit of surgical mask material over it, up to you, which is easier for you. But essentially, that's all you need to do. Now, why won't this key bit turn on here? There we go, it's starting to turn out. Right, there we are. So yeah, the filters aren't as good in this as I'd say the GVS Ellipse because they're a bit more of a pain in the ass to take in and put out. Yeah, otherwise this seems alright. Don't quite understand how this bit attaches to there. So, that looks like one of those sweat drainage sort of things. That's quite interesting. That's actually properly... does that come out? I'm not sure. I see. Yeah, that doesn't come out because it's like that's the bit that holds it in there. So that's how kind of part of the mask is held together. But yeah, this seems like an alright mask for like the £20 to £30 you can get these for at the moment. That's not bad considering, you know, when the second lockdown starts, these are going to be like over £100 again. What are you using them for, ordinary prepper? If you've got gas filters on them, they don't last very long. If you've got particulate filters like these, like until they clog, probably months to a year. Depends on the style of the filter, but in general, unless you're in a really dusty environment, there's not going to be much in the air that's going to clog them. Right, at the moment on eBay, you can buy lots of things like that, but the problem is as soon as the second lockdown starts, I bet you won't be able to get them. Let's have a quick look actually on eBay, but I reckon, don't forget to like the stream, everybody, if you've not liked it so far. Alright, they're $29.99 at the moment, these Stealth P3 masks, and you can get them in small or large, basically. That's the small one I've got there. Let's see what other respirators are currently available that are probably going to go up in silly prices soon. Of course, there's lots of just fabric masks being sold now as proper respirators when they're not. Let me see if the JSP Force 8s are still available. Yeah, all the JSP Force 8s have nearly sold out again. Do you remember recently when the Force 8s were there's one here, but do you remember recently that they were all dropping in price? Because obviously somebody had bought out loads of them and then were trying to resell them. Well, it turns out there's barely any listings again because everybody's buying them again. Which one, Marcus? The JSP Force 8 or the Alpha Mesh? There's a couple of different ones I use regularly. In terms of schools, they said that's going to be one of the last things in the UK they close, but I suppose it depends how bad it gets. That's annoying, AK-47. The annoying thing for me at the moment is I think my employer's not paid me correctly. So it's payday in about 2 days, and by the look of it, I've been massively underpaid, so then I have to go in with a printed off, like, you know, payroll sheet and everything and go, give me my money. If you've not been following the news, Pepsi, man, it definitely looks like we're going to be in another lockdown or pseudo-lockdown very soon, because they keep putting more and more measures in, and it's still spreading quite quickly. As long as it's not, like, collapsed at all, Daryl, I think it should be fine. No, I've not seen the Mexican military parade. Did that go all ahead because of Corona? Yeah, well, that was a thing, Swaggerino Albino, but if you went back a couple of months ago, you'd be looking at £100 for a half face masks, and no full face masks anywhere. What, with, like, Victoria, with, like, the white little overalls on, or what? With little white hats? Yeah, that doesn't sound bad at all, DF, to be honest. Is that the full face one? Because if that's a full face one, that's very good. But I'd say any mask at the moment, $30 is good for a good half face mask. Yeah, you have to wear masks pretty much everywhere, gas mask guy. Oh, like the M98, yeah, I'd pay like $100 to $200 for that. Well, there will be a Halloween special this year, Altrix, but maybe the joke will be that everybody has to wear masks anyway, because that's the strange reality. Because surgical masks aren't very protective. If you're being serious, that it's like they're better than nothing, but in terms of like actual how good they are, surgical masks aren't very good at all. They're designed to protect other people from you spitting on them, basically. That's the point of a surgical mask. S6, £30 or more. Avon M50, probably £100 or more at the moment. Yeah, the Furnez is fine, I'd say, isn't it? It's one of those masks I don't get why some people don't like it, but if you can get them for like the £30 to £50 mark, they're pretty good panoramic masks. A good price for an S10 used to be £30 to £50. The price of S10s now is silly money, like 100, 200, something like that. It depends where you are and what you can get, Piton Man, but if you want to just get like standard ABEC, do I have any handy in this drawer? Like not this exact one, but essentially just getting in-date ones like this. These have weird shapes to them, but you know, just basically an ABEC 2P3 style filter. Because quite often you can buy these on, well, due to Corona, it's probably harder now, but you used to be able to get things like this on eBay for maybe £10 a filter. That had a couple of years on the date. I think your filter will probably be fine, Daryl, depending on what you've done to it. Unless you've, like, poked a hole in it. I'd sell an S10 for £900. The thing is, if people are going to pay silly money like that for masks, I could buy my bunker after selling off like a dozen masks, but I'm not enough of a dick to go, oh yeah, let me price gouge your masks. Or to be honest, I doubt that S10 is going to sell. Yeah, the problem is now is a load of my gas masks, you might not judge it from the background, but a lot of my masks are very neatly put away in like boxes, you know. So the problem is if somebody says, can you do a video on a mask that's in one of the lower boxes, the answer's not easily. Because I'd have to like lift all the boxes up and stack them somewhere else to dig through them to find a mask they want to restack everything back up. Yeah, my day's been alright, thank you. I had a lay-in again. I'm going to get a video filmed once the stream ends because I didn't do one earlier just because of, you know, various things going on. At least I didn't have to wait in for a parcel all day today. I won't be doing a stream tomorrow. It's like 99% certain I won't be streaming tomorrow because I'm meant to be going out with one of my friends to film a load of night vision footage because it's easier with a couple of people filming rather than just trying to, you know, take the goggles off, put a camera in front of it, put the goggles back on kind of thing. Yeah, Climax things are fine, Justin Vapor. The Climax masks are all right as well. The masks are good, and yeah, the filters are fine. I've got a Climax filter somewhere. Have I opened it, or is it still sealed? I might have put it in my box of filters, though, saying that. Yeah, it's not there, so it's probably in my box of filters. Well, Pepsi Man, I think we're going to be in lockdown within a week or so if you don't already consider this lockdown. If you mean when's the lockdown going to end, probably not until we get a vaccine now, I'd imagine, with how bad things are getting. Yeah, I'm obviously not psychic. I don't know when the government's going to fuck up badly enough to do another lockdown, but it's coming. What sort of predictions? Lots of things are going to be closed down. It's going to be a shit Christmas. It's going to put lots of businesses out of business because there's going to be too many restrictions on them and they can't operate properly. You're reminding me of that image now where there's the people in the London Underground during the Blitz, and they're going that Justin Vapor posted that, you know, the bombs aren't real, and they're doing this to control us. Which particular one, James? If you mean the Stealth, it's literally called the Stealth. It's like just one of those quite compact P3 masks you can get on like Amazon and eBay. You know, so if you wanted a half face mask that's actually protective. I don't think your hands absorb all the alcohol, though, from hand gel. No. I did this for, like, the picture on the stream. But, yeah, the rear picture is the one I find funny. We need to cancel this bloke. Look, he's wearing blackface. Right, Thomas. As I said earlier, simple logic. It's going to depend totally on how like dusty and polluted it is in the area you live. But in theory, months to like a year, because P3 filters, all they do is literally filter dust. So unless you're in a very dusty environment, they're not going to clog up very quickly. Is it particularly good Alpha Industries, or is it just one of those expensive masks that's expensive because it wasn't very mass-produced? What, the Nixie tube clock? It's cool, isn't it? Yeah. No, it's good that you care for people like that, Baptiste, but yeah, that's the thing. You have to be protective of them and protective of yourself, don't you? GP5s are fine, but they're mass-produced. There's not much to say about a GP5 that's not been said thousands of times before. You know, it's the world's most mass-produced gas mask. It's meh. You know, it's not bad, it's not good. It's serviceable for what they made them for. Because it's probably cheap to still keep making GP5s. I don't know. They've probably got all the tooling there, and they're like, well, Conrad, why don't we keep making these masks and make some money? We're capitalists now. No, just now you said that you wanted you've got a rare mask. You didn't say that you wanted to buy it for $50. Here's the thing, Mr. Misha. In the UK now, they've stopped people doing sports again. Well, not doing sports, but actually going to watch sports. Thank you, Simfrost. No, the beeping is every time it counts. I can demonstrate this easily using this Geiger counter. So every time it beeps, Simfrost, and thank you. Every time it beeps, that's it counting a radioactive decay. The dose is based on several counts. So the easy way to show you of this look is if I go to this Geiger counter. Right, notice that the counts per minute are a different number than the dose. Every time it beeps, that's the counts per minute number. But the dose is based on, generally, I don't know what the conversion factor is, but there'll be so many CPM equals a certain dose. Yeah, I think there'll be another lockdown. Yeah, and that's causing a spike in cases, ordinary prepper, because the more people going back to normal, the worse it gets with spreading something infectious. Yes, it will, TXE Gaming, shave your hair off. That's the easy answer, or get a bigger size. Yeah, no worries, Simfrost. But yeah, it's basically how a Geiger counter works is it counts, and then the dose sort of comparison is done based on a conversion factor of the amount that counts to the amount of dose. Yeah, as I've said over and over again, simple logic, yes, I do. Since this started, I've been wearing respirators in public places before it was even mandated, because it was a sensible thing to do. Right, for all the people asking me when the lockdown is starting, look on the news. I don't know why you're asking me, because I don't make up stuff, but it's very evident that there's another lockdown coming. I don't think Soros pays me at all, Sparrow, unfortunately. Now, hopefully they can get it flying then. It's going to be bad, I reckon, Beagle, at Christmas time, because you're going to have a combination of like the cold and flu symptom combined with corona. I would not recommend getting a Yugo M1, but if you're going to do it, I can't stop you. The filters it comes with, I wouldn't bother using due to age, and the mask mounts. Yeah, you can buy spare filters for it, Gregory. It's literally just one where you open it up and replace the filters. Oh, you could get a 60 to 40mm converter if you mean for the Yugo M1, but it's still not a good mask because it's basically the M9, but not as good. Until we get a vaccine is the simple answer to that. It's not going away. It's basically there'll be a vaccine and that will be the end of it. But until there's a vaccine for everybody, it's not going away. You know, that's the issue. Yeah, well, Mr. Misha, I think the main problem is it will be in cold and flu season, so most people are going to have secondary respiratory problems anyway. And it spreads better in cold weather because viruses kind of do well in cold weather. Why would the vaccine not fix it? The Russians already have a vaccine, Beagle, but it didn't have proper stage 3 trials, so how safe it will be, I don't know. Most Western countries are doing the vaccine stuff properly, but it means it will be slower to develop a vaccine. We don't even have HVAC filters in our home. The closest thing we have to HVAC filters are that air purifier filters. It's all right. W2 says thank you. Which particular Geiger does that go in? Let me Google them, OK9. The particular one you're asking about, I can't find any results for. But what Geiger counter is it for? Because you can generally substitute different Geiger Muller tubes in them. No, that's completely made up, Harvey, by people who don't understand science. Masks don't make you choke if you randomly wear them. That's kind of the opposite of what they're designed to do. They're designed to protect your respiratory system, not harm it. Any of them would be fine, Starfleet Admiral. Just pick the one you like the most and is the least expensive, I'd say. because most rubber P3 masks are all pretty much identical in terms of how well they work. It's just, what do you like the look of the most? What would you find the most comfortable? I've done a video on the Polish SR1, so just watch the video. It's basically a casualty mask. Oh, that really old kind of weird probe one, OK9. I really don't know because I don't have one, but that's the one that looks a bit like a vibrator, isn't it? That one. But yeah, I don't actually have it, so I've never played about the GM tubes it comes with. But it's a weird design, isn't it? You'd have to find out what the voltage is for the GM tubes it uses and get one that's close enough to its original voltage, then you could probably substitute it. Okay, can you please explain why the materials are cheap? Because looking at it, as I said, rubber feels the same as rubber on any other respirator. Plastic doesn't feel particularly cheap. Straps are fairly well made. As you can see, they're not like thin, cheap material. They're actually pretty solid. So I don't see anything on this that's going to simply break. Like maybe the plastic there after enough use might break, but that would go for any single mask with brackets like that. Unless like there was a previous design of this where it was a lot cheaper, but looking at this one, I don't see anything actually wrong with it. How many times do I have to say what it's called? You do know every single respirator is hot to wear, right? But this sounds like somebody reviewing a mask, but who doesn't know how masks work. Oh, the mask's hot if you wear it. No shit, it's a mask. But as I said, looking at it, it's going to be no more flawed than any other mask, as far as I can tell. Right, for the people bringing up politics, you're just getting instant bans at this point, because I think one of you had a timeout before, and then you just go straight back to doing it. These are about £30, £20 to £30 on Amazon and eBay. Although they're selling out again now, because typically, as soon as typically things like this, as soon as we've got the second wave coming, they start selling out again. Actual 3M mask, Jensen, are like £100. It's only the Chinese knockoff of 3M masks that are cheap. And again, they're still this sort of price range. If you've not looked at the prices of masks with all the corona stuff happening. Well, I don't know about the MSA 240, but on all of those full-face military respirators, they're going to be a hell of a lot better than something like this, but they're designed for totally different industries. Yeah, thanks, Marcus. I was just going to do that, but yeah. Yeah, once Corona is finally over, Tamas, the masks might drop in price, but that's probably going to be like 2 years away, aren't they? That's the 410, yeah. The MSA 410 is the half-face one. Yeah, the MSA 410 is one of the best half-face masks I've used, but good luck finding them, that's the problem. Because, yeah, if I had to pick any half-face respirators, I would say the MSA 410 and probably the Strong M50 and maybe the JSP Force 8s are the best ones I've got. But there seems to be nothing wrong with this. As I said, every half-face mask, you're going to get hot wearing it because it's a respirator. Yeah, that'd be good, Mike, wouldn't it? But there's still some tire on eBay at the moment, but they're almost out of stock again now because I think everybody's realised they need to buy the masks. You should have told the shop person to fuck off, Mackenzie. Tell them they're breaking the law by telling you not to wear a respirator. Because as of now, isn't it? It's illegal not to wear a respirator or like a mask when you're in a shop. So if they say, "Oh, you can't wear that mask," tell them they're breaking the law. I still, like I've said, as much as I don't want to sound like a Karen, if I went into a shop with a proper respirator on and somebody in a shop told me I couldn't wear that, I would literally go and make the biggest fuss I could to like their HR department online or whatever. You know, because if in the current day you wear a respirator that's better than the sort of bulk basic cloth things, and go in a shop and somebody in the shop's like, "Oh, you're not allowed to wear that because it's essentially too good." They fucking deserve to not have a sale, don't they? Yeah, if you can get them for that price, Kingbo, it's worth it, isn't it? But most masks are going up way more than that. Ooh. Also, it's the police not having any fucking clue what they're talking about. What a surprise. If they make an accusation like that, I think you can probably get them in serious shit. Because police aren't allowed to go to you, "Oh, you look like you're going to rob somewhere." Yeah, bring out the masks, bring out the masks. "Oh, I'm not dead yet." Yeah, it's a strange thing, isn't it? Okay, now I did see one for sale at one point. I think it went higher than what I was willing to bid on it when it. So again, Carol, what you need to do in that case is complain, I'd say, to the company's sort of public thing where they need to, to say I went into a store wearing a mask and I was told, by the security guard I couldn't come in wearing this. What are you playing at, basically? Yeah, you could do that, couldn't you, Kingbo? Where I work, we have no issue any sort of mask people wear, as long as they're wearing a mask that isn't like some sort of, bit of cloth with a hole in it. That's fine, they're wearing a mask. The better masks are better, we all know that, but, the law doesn't say they have to wear masks as good as that, but... Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm saying, if in the current environment you actually have a store physically telling you not to wear a proper mask, it's bad image for the store, isn't it? I could understand that in completely normal times. If you went in the store with a mask on and they said, "Oh, you can't wear that in here." But with all the corona stuff, there's something bloody wrong with people if they're like, "Oh no, you can't wear that mask, essentially it's too good." Weirdly, I've been wearing like masks in public since like March, April time, and I never had any issues. You get weird looks from like random people, but you never get anybody in a shop moan about it. Yeah, the legal requirement is a face covering, but face coverings don't do much. That's the point I'm making, that, if you literally say, "I've gone into a shop and they've complained because I'm wearing a mask," that is not good for their, like, HR, not HR, but, like their, whatever you want to call it, public relations. Because remember, originally they were telling people masks did nothing because they hadn't got enough masks for doctors. Then as soon as they had enough PPE for doctors, they were suddenly going, "Oh yeah, masks do work." Again, I wouldn't put too much stock in what the idiots in charge say. So there's somebody on here whinging. I'll get rid of you then. You didn't actually make many posts, Michael, so I don't know why you're whinging. You literally said, "Oh, I'm a doctor" on one thing and didn't back it up, and you said vaccines don't work. So you're not a very good doctor. I mean, as they said on LBC the other day when there was some anti-vaxxer going on about doctors, Nick Abbott said, "Well, Dr. Mengele was a doctor and Dr. Shipman was a doctor. That doesn't mean doctors are always nice people, all right." But, there we go. But yeah, you do sometimes get people who get really angry on here because they're not even posting stuff and they're saying I'm being ignored. Remember that YouTube does seem to censor a lot of comments, but I'd imagine it was somebody saying lots of anti-vax stuff that YouTube auto hides anyway. Shields are better than nothing, like the face shield things, but really you need a mask under the face shield. The main point of the face shield is just to make it harder for fluids to hit you in the face. It wasn't me that made that up, Daniel. It was Nick Abbott on LBC. But yeah, it's because they had one of those anti-vaxxer morons phone in. And he was basically saying how the guy that said vaccines cause autism was a doctor. So then Nick Abbott basically went, yes, but Dr. Mengele was a doctor. Dr. Harold Shipman was a doctor. That didn't make them nice people and all right. Yeah, that's the thing, Mike, but a lot of people don't even make comments, or if they do, they don't show up, but then they take it out on everybody else in the stream because they can't seem to realise that YouTube's hiding the comment. I've not seen an old man with a napkin on a lolly stick, but that sounds kind of funny. That's a shame, Mr. Misha. I think they should actually have legal repercussions for people that essentially are committing manslaughter or financial terrorism, in a sense, aren't they? The thing is, I can understand if there was somebody who was completely asymptomatic and they infected people by accident. That's not too bad, but it's like when the people have all the symptoms or they've had a test and known they're positive and they still go out and do stuff, at that point it is literally, essentially, on purposely infecting people, isn't it? Yeah, bioterrorism. For me, it's more like a financial terrorism, I think, because if you're going to cause a local lockdown, you're going to put so many people out of work, aren't you? Regardless of how many people you might infect and kill. There was somebody on LBC today that was crying, saying, God save us, that I thought was both funny and tragic at the same time. Yeah, well, it's been a thing since like AIDS has been around, hasn't it? But again, I think you should basically get a manslaughter type charge if you infect people on purpose. Yeah, everybody in the stores has to wear masks now, even if you're behind one of those screens the supermarket spent loads of money putting up. You know, they did those like plastic screens on every till. The workers still have to wear masks behind them now, so that was a waste of money, wasn't it? But yeah, basically the thing is, if you work in a shop and you have any interaction with customers, everybody has to wear a mask now. Ah, cool, Tricks. Is it in good condition? Holy Cat, please back that up with something, because otherwise I think you're giving false advice there. All right, thanks, Marcus. Yeah, because I have never seen any evidence, Holy Cat, that filter is actually GOST. People keep saying it, but they've never backed it up. I doubt the French make a GOST mask. It makes no sense. Yeah, that's all right if you did it by accident, but yeah, be aware that you could literally tell somebody that they could spend a load of money only to find it doesn't work. Well, Mr. Overclocker, soon they're going to be starting getting fined for that, aren't they? Because this is part of the issue. But yeah, in the UK anyway, that's the law. Obviously, in other countries, like it depends on what the laws are there. But yeah, in the UK now, the law is if you're basically in any kind of retail or shop environment, everybody wears a mask now, full stop. Unless they're basically like a solo member of staff working back of house, then they don't need to. But like, you know, if you walk through any area, you need to have a mask on. And it's now a criminal offence, isn't it, not to have a mask on? So rather than it's like the police saying to somebody, oh, you're going to get fined if you do it, you can get a criminal record, and I think even in prison now, just because of all the twats keep going, oh, you can't make me wear a mask. The thing is, in some ways it's quite authoritarian, but it's just literally idiots have brought this on everybody. If you mean Briz filters, crazy egg, Briz filters are GOST, but they have different designs because Briz does quite a few different things. Yeah, but what can you do about it, Swaggerino? Just research what the products are before you buy them. Are you typing out a second bit to that old Brett? Or was that the full comment? Alright, so you can sleep in the mask and people don't notice. That's pretty good. That's annoying, Mackenzie, but yeah, there's so many people losing jobs at the moment. Mike, can you get green blank guns with the word zombie killer written on them? No, I've never bothered tinting my own lenses. It seems a bit silly to do it, in my opinion, unless you're like a cosplayer. The one thing I will say about Trump, though, is he was caught in a thing saying he knew ahead of time that it was bad, but he didn't do anything about it. Thank you, Marcus. But yeah, things like surgical masks, as you say, are effective if everybody wears it. The problem is at the moment there's lots of people just not bothering to wear any sort of masks, are they? Because it's, oh, they're muzzling us. Yeah, the main... What ones are you on about, Peach? Oh, orange and blue ones for blank guns. So you can't get green ones. It's a shame. But yeah, the thing with Trump was that thing where he was caught, wasn't he, by Bob Woodward or wherever he's called, basically saying stuff like, oh, I know it's this really deadly virus. It spreads via airborne transmission. It's like, but I don't want to panic people. So basically, Trump did downplay it like lots of other world leaders did, which really did not work out in anybody's favor. Yeah, Tamas, you can't post links. Did you post a link or did you just mention a website name? Because if you're mentioning just a website name without like a URL, it should let you do it. But I know YouTube does delete lots of comments now. As I've already said, I'm not streaming tomorrow because I'm doing a night vision video tomorrow. Then it's YouTube not liking the website. Then I guess, Thomas. That's the only thing I can think. Like they've got the website's name on kind of like a banned website sort of list, like a blacklist or something. Yeah, so I mean, they give off electromagnetic radiation, John, but that's not ionizing radiation. Does Bill Gates live on the moon? No, he lives in a 5G tower, I think. Under the sea, probably. I don't actually know, because there's so many crazy fucking things with Bill Gates randomly being brought up on vaccine stuff that I just don't listen to it. Right, the one for the M2000, Marcus, that comes out... Let me check. The M2000 one comes out on Friday. I think Sunday we'll have the video for the Taiwanese mask, and then probably the next video I'll film after that will be on the funny German one in the tin. Orange suit in the back. Do you mean the French right armor? Yeah, I've heard Bill Gates mentioned a lot, Dennis, to do with you know, stuff like this. But like you said, there was nothing they could actually have properly blamed him on. Because the thing I didn't get was apparently by giving African children vaccines so they didn't die of stuff like, oh, what was it? malaria and stuff like that. They were saying that was Bill Gates trying to kill African children. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Some of this crazy conspiracy thing. But yeah, the really horrible thing with like all the anti-vaxxer stuff is polio still exists in some countries because they're like religious theocracies where the nuts in charge think like, vaccines kill people. So they're some of the only places in the world where children are still crippled and killed by polio because, the retards in charge are actually the ones killing the kids, essentially. Well, that would be good, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, as we know, lots of people don't want to wear masks because it's the 5G towers controlling me or whatever the thing is. Yeah, you don't want your contract tasting vaccine. Right, the person that's made two very strange comments I'm getting rid of. So the first comment he was saying is like, oh, you can't listen to certain people to do with Trump because it's like the media lying, even though it's a record of Trump, saying it. And DDT was a horrible fucking pesticide that led to like birth defects and everything else. So don't claim, oh, some horrible Agent Orange shit would have saved people's lives. No, it wouldn't. Yeah, it might have killed the mosquitoes, but it also led to more birth defected children and the collapse of the for people who don't know what DDT is, it's fucking horrible stuff and it's good it's no longer used. But yeah, it was a pesticide that caused so many issues until it was banned. So yeah, don't say, that's like literally saying, oh, if everywhere used Agent Orange, you wouldn't get weeds in your garden. CT12 doesn't have a drinking tube. Yeah, DDT did kill lots of birds, didn't it? Because it got into the food chain of birds and like destroyed the birds' eggs and the embryos in the egg. But yeah, again, it's like pesticides are one of those things you have to be very careful about using it. Yeah, it basically went all through the food chains of loads of animals' crazy egg and started killing them off or like giving them defects. Yep, Camus, as somebody else has already said, yep. But don't forget, there was already a person in the stream saying, no, it was brilliant stuff. Right, we've had a Holocaust denier, so well done, you're blocked. Go follow your Führer. Bang. Yeah, did lots of horrible things, crazy egg DDT. Again, it's this whole thing like we've done lots of times of humans of not properly researching something and then mass producing it, then covering up any side effects because companies want to make money. eBay, if there's any in stock anywhere, aggression. Who was the one that lived in the barrel and yelled at people? Probably that one. Diogenes, thank you. Talk about Corona, John, and you get all the fucking crazies come out of the woodwork who, deny the Holocaust, whatever. There's something fucking wrong with those people in the head, isn't there? But a surplus store, eat your vegetables. DDT, Buckfast Boy, was a pesticide. Was it like the 50s? It was mass produced and used. It was one of those pesticides where basically they didn't research it properly and it caused massive amounts of problems to the whole eco chain. Killing lots of animals, causing birth defects, stuff like that. So it was one of those things they eventually banned because of the huge amount of damage it did. But it's one of those things where you see kind of the crazy right-wing people now and again talk about how brilliant it was, and it was because of like the stupid liberals, they banned the DDT. It's a bit like them saying thalidomide was a great thing for morning sickness, you know. There we go. OK9's giving you a good explanation. DDT is a carcinogenic halogen derivate, however it's pronounced, like it comes from something, pesticide. And the biggest problem is that it pretty much doesn't decay in nature, so it keeps causing damage even now after decades. Well, as I said, Ivan, it's not turned up yet. It's finally got to the UK, but it'll have to be delivered. You asked me that the other day, and it was still in transit. But yeah, once I get it, I'll let you know. But yeah, that was Agent Orange in Vietnam, but that was also a horrible trioxin. It's not just Republicans. This is the thing. It's just people who are pretty anti-science. You can, but the cleanup costs are huge for it, Buckfast Boy. And again, a lot of damage is already done by things like that. Yeah, I went to Auschwitz. It's a fucking real place, just because I know you get all these crazies that think it was made up. Yeah, it'd be good to get one of those modern ones, Ivan. You have to do some videos on it. But yeah, don't worry. It's just, yeah, you did ask the other day, and I said that. But yeah, again, like, I don't mind when people debate how many people were actually killed in the Holocaust, because we don't have a place for it on these streams, because this isn't the sort of thing. But it's just more when you get people that start denying it happened completely, you know. They're like, Hitler was a good boy, he didn't do nothing, you know. No, I don't think I have, Crazy Egg. Yeah, like, the thing is, there's plenty of historical evidence you can look at to say stuff like the Holocaust happened, you know, and there's all the testimonies from people involved in it, either perpetrators or victims who survived. You know, all those people say it happened. You get a couple of people that lie about it, and then you'll get the crazy people go, oh, look, but this person was caught lying about the Holocaust, therefore the entire thing was fake. Well, a lot of them were incinerated, weren't they? That was the thing. And again, not all of it was done in death camps. Some of it was mass, like, exterminations carried out in forests of bodies buried, people starved, you know. All right, Alex, haven't seen you on in a while. I reckon we're going to have another shutdown, lockdown very soon, just because of how it's getting out of control in the UK again. Yeah, there's like all the hair in that there, isn't there? It's like saying it's a horrible place. But yeah, it's something I think it's worth seeing if you're in Poland or whatever. Obviously, the Poles didn't carry out as the Germans and Nazis. I just need to point out, because you get some people that think because Auschwitz was built in Poland, it was the Polish people that made it. But yeah, the problem is that if you go there and see it, you can realize it's very real. That, you know, it. Again, some of the stories of the Holocaust were probably made up, but the vast majority of it really did happen. It was horrible. And again, it's not the only genocide in history to have happened, is it? There's been lots and lots of genocides. Humans are kind of inherently evil, or not very nice, you know. So yeah, and it's like, again, we're saying, look at what Agent Orange has still done, causing birth defects and everything else. Yeah, that's the thing, Daniel. It's like the whole moving the goalpost thing, isn't it? Yeah, I think we'll all agree COVID-19 sucks. No, the Russian sleep experiment is a creepy pasta. That's not a real thing. There was a thing, though, where Stalin tried to get baboons or something to impregnate. Was it gorillas or baboons to impregnate women to make super soldiers? I wish I was making that up, but I'm not. think it was like a Hindu sort of symbol, wasn't it? The swastika. Yeah. The point was Nazis fucked everything up. Well, there's lots of places in Russia where people murdered en masse, James. I don't know particularly what the Skeleton Road is, but the Soviet Union wasn't a very nice place, especially under Stalin. Yeah, he did, but again, that's something not talked about, Crazy Egg, isn't it? Because, again, if you're like one of these modern lefty kind of, commie apologists, you basically get to the point of any time, communists did anything bad, that was a one-off or it didn't happen. Let's see you, Ivan. My favourite dumb thing with the Nazis is where they had that castle where they thought the Holy Grail was there. And they'd had the black sun, floor mosaic. Oh, it was in Unit 731, Alex. That's another fucked up thing, isn't it? He was a National Socialist. Oh, not Greg's. Oh, I was going to say, yeah, at least the sausage distribution is going on, but yeah. I do not understand at the moment why unless you're in you've already started uni, why you'd actually want to go. Because there's a few people I know that were meant to be going off to uni this year, and I said, no, I'm just going to have a gap year because I'm not going to pay $9,000 to be just locked in accommodation. Yeah, it's covered over here, Yorkshire, Tom. Majid Nawaz on LBC brings it up a lot. But Boris fucking cowered out and wouldn't call it a genocide. He's like, oh, even though we've not got good relations at the moment, Boris was fucking shying away in Parliament from calling it a genocide. And it is genocide if you're locking people in camps, forcefully sterilising them, using them as slave labour. That's fucking genocide. Right, thank you, Alex, as usual. Yeah, the thing he was bringing up as well, Yorkshire Tom, was also that there's people that he would disagree with on a lot of political stuff, but they're also calling it out, and then you get all the people he'd be technically more in line with and who just want to keep quiet over it because it's not convenient. That would explain a lot, Daniel, but it's still morally fucked up, isn't it? That we're not going to call it what it is because we don't want to do anything about it. I have no idea, knife and guts out. Yeah, I suppose there is that, Farrow, isn't there? I don't know. But anyway, I'll be off in a minute. It's been an hour. Thanks for all the people who have donated and left sensible comments. Obviously, we did have a few anti-vaxxers on tonight and Holocaust deniers. So, anti-science, anti-reality people, I guess is the word for those. If you're wearing a mask for hours, they're not going to be very comfortable. You're just going to want quite a lightweight half-face respirator, I imagine. Maybe something like a Y2K or U2K style respirator. All right, see you all. Yeah, goodbye. Have a good evening. And I won't be on tomorrow, as said, just for anybody that didn't catch me saying that, because I don't want to be asked, am I streaming tomorrow over and over again? I've already said I'm not. But hopefully I might get some good footage of night vision tomorrow night. We'll see. Right, yeah. Bye-bye then.